friends, how are you doing? I'm Motayo Alemori, your digital lawyer. I'm an intellectual property lawyer and a business law expert in Nigeria. So today I want to answer your questions. A lot of people ask me, you are an intellectual property lawyer, so does that mean you sell property, you sell stuff, you sell people's movable property, or you sell landed property? Necessarily that. I'm an intellectual property lawyer. So today I'm going to tell you the difference between an intellectual property and a physical property. So stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Omotayo once again, an intellectual property lawyer and a business lawyer. Yes, an intellectual property lawyer. And that's what I'm talking about today. Difference between intellectual property and physical property. You all are familiar with physical property, like landed property or a movable property. Just like I said, they are physical. You can see them, they can move around. Some are movable, some aren't movable, and you can actually transfer them and see that they are transferred. Now, the difference between an intellectual property and a physical property is this, one of which is this. Intellectual property is the property of your idea. It's the property of your mindset. It's the result of your creation or your creativity. And so forms of intellectual property are patent rights, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets, industrial designs, and these are ideas of people, creative brands. They put them together, and the result of that brand, when it is fixed in a particular form, it becomes a property. So that's why we call them intellectual property. Whereas for physical property, they are things that you see, like a car or an immovable object like a house. They are tangible, they are real. You can actually feel them physically. But for your intellectual property, you can't feel someone's idea. You can't go into their brain, right, to pick up that idea. But what makes it a property is the fact that it has to be expressed. What makes it protected as an intellectual property is the fact that it has to be expressed in a form, e.g. music has to be recorded. If it's a song, it has to be written down. If it's an idea, it has to be patented. If it's a music, it has to be either recorded, the producer has rights to it, so all of those are copyright and they are intellectual property right. You can't touch someone's music. You can't touch someone's copyright. You can't feel someone's trademark or patent right. But for your car or your desk or your house, you can touch it. It's physical. That's one. Right? Another difference, is really an important difference, is like an advantage to intellectual property, is the fact that intellectual property can be shared infinite. It can be shared infinitely. This is what I mean by that. When someone has an idea and it's protected, say copyright or patent rights, and you give other people access or consent or rights to use that property, you can give to thousands and millions of people, and they have access to your invention all at the same time. They can use that right at the same time. But now here comes the difference. When I give you my book, it's my property, my physical property. I give you my car, or I give you keys to my house. Once I give it to you, it has moved to you. I can't share it with another person. So that's one difference. Another difference is the fact that it's easier to steal one's intellectual property. So that's why we have devised so many means to protect, in as much as we have devised so many means to protect people's intellectual property, the theft of intellectual property is still on the increase every other day. So if you steal my car, I'm just using the car as an example. If you steal my car, or you steal my box, or you steal something that belongs to me, even if I do not catch the thief, I can easily identify that, oh my God, my car is missing. I can call for help immediately. But you see, intellectual property, it takes a while. It's not every time. You might not find out immediately, especially for copyright. Maybe someone is using your song somewhere. You can't even detect unless you find out by people report to you, or you just find out by so many other technical means. But for physical property, it's very, very easy to identify that it is missing. Intellectual property is still a novel area, so we're still looking out for different ways to protect intellectual property rights. Having this in mind, these two differences or three differences I've highlighted, I hope you have a grasp of what intellectual property rights is, or what intellectual property rights are, and what physical properties are. So if you do not know what intellectual property is, I did a video. My very first video was on intellectual property generally, talking about what intellectual property is, what intellectual property rights are. So if you need to have a grasp of what it is, check out my very first video. I think I did well. I dealt with that properly. I hope you found this video useful. If you have questions concerning intellectual property and physical property, do well to send me a mail, mydigitallawyer@gmail.com, or you drop your comments in the comment section. You ask your question. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I post quality content on business law and intellectual property law every day at mydigitallawyer with double L. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you found it useful, so you do well to share this video with your friends, share this video with your relatives, and thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post weekly here business tips, creativity tips, intellectual property tips. I post here every other week. You definitely find something useful in my channel. If you are subscribed, hit the notification bell so you get notified every week when I post my videos. Thanks for staying tuned. Bye. See you next week. Bye.